Hello everyone, my name is Luis Fernando Mesa Torres, and today I'm going to talk to you about a fascinating and sometimes controversial area of science called biotechnology. So, when we heard the word biotechnology, we think about medicines, genetics, or agriculture, but biotechnology is different. Instead of focusing on creating new technologies, it's focused on an important question. Just because we can do something in science, does that mean we should? So now let's talk about what is biotechnology. Violet biotechnology. Violet biotechnology is one of the branches of biotechnology that focus on the ethical, legal, and social implication of science's advances in biology. While other areas of biotechnology are dedicated to create new medicines, improving crops, or develop industrial processes, Violet biotechnology is concerned with the responsible use of these innovations. So, its main purpose is to analyze how biotechnology affects people, animals, society, and the environment, and ask questions like how should biotechnology be regulated? What limits should exist? Is this natural or we are going too far? Who controls this technology? So now let's talk about a recent and important example of biotechnology, the case of death extinction. So this refers to the use of biotechnology to create extinct species by modifying the DNA of living animals with similar genetic characteristics. So one of the most recognized companies in this field is Colossal Bioscience, founded in 2021 in the United States by George Church with a PhD in genetics and the entrepreneur Ben Lam. So the company's objective is to use biotechnology to bring back extinct animals and eventually reintroduce them in order to improve biodiversity and restore the damaged ecosystems. So, to achieve this, scientists use advanced tools such as CRISPR gene editing, genetic engineering, stem cell reprogramming, or computational biology. So, using these techniques, researchers hope to recreate species that disappeared thousands of years ago while preserving some of their original biological traits. So, well, this case has attached worldwide attention because it demonstrates the extraordinary possibilities of biotechnology, but it also raises major ethical questions about whether humans should reserve extinct and how these technologies should be controlled responsibility. So now let's talk about one of the most fascinating aspects of this extinction is the possibility to bring back animals that disappeared many years ago. Scientists are currently studying several extinct species whose DNA can be partially recovered and compared with that of living relatives. For example, the woolly mammoth, the thylacine, that is the demon of Tasmania, the dodo, or one of the most recent cases, and it was famous the last year, the deer wolf, a prehistoric predator that lived in the Americas and became famous popular culture for Game of Thrones. For example, here we have the photo with the creator of Game of Thrones, J.J.R. Martin. And yes, so now let's talk about the extinction is scientifically exists, and it also raises many important ethical concerns. Biotechnology focuses on analyze these issues to ensure the scientific progress is responsibility and beneficial. So one of the major concerns is the moral responsibility. Humans have caused many extinctions through hunting, pollution, and habitat destruction. Some people believe that we have the duty to repair this damage, while others believe we should focus on protecting species that still exist. Another concern is the nature order bringing extinct species back may interfere with ecosystems that have changed over time. Animals that once lived in the past may not adapt well to modern environments. So there is also like the issue of long-term consequences. Scientists cannot fully predict how reproduce species, reproduce species could affect like the food chains, diseases, or biodiversity in the future. So animals' rights are another important topic. The extinction experiments may require chronic attempts, laboratory testing, and surrogated animals, which could cause suffering or health problems during the experiments. So there is also a debate about human benefits versus the risks. While this project may improve ecosystems or scientific knowledge, they could also consume large amounts of money and resources. So, like we have already faced similar ethical questions before. For example, one of the most famous examples is Dolly the sheep, the first animal clone from an adult cell. So, when Dolly was created, people were shocked. It raised concern about animal welfare, the possibility to cloning humans, the limit of scientific experimentations, etc. So this event led to the development of bioethics guidelines, strict regulations, and more awareness, responsibility about science. And this is exactly what Violet Biotechnology aims to do, guide science to a responsible direction. So to address these concerns, scientists and organizations are taking about several steps. For example, to address these concerns, scientists are organized, taking several steps, as I say, creating a strict laboratory and animal welfare protocols, developing ethical guidelines for research, conducting environmental impact studies before release organisms to the ecosystem, but also protect the endangered species that we have here. So this is important because biotechnology should not fix the past mistakes. It should also help prevent future ones. So now let's talk about from a global perspective. These are some several priorities we must focus on. The first one is protecting currently biodiversity, and it is much easier and more ethical to protect species that are alive than to try to create them later. So then we have the responsible use of biotechnology. Science must be guided by ethics, not just by curiosity. Then we have the international cooperation. Biotechnology affects the entire planet, so countries need to share laws and agreements about this. Then we have the balancing. Yes, as I say, balancing innovation and sustainability. We should continue advancing science, but not uh, at the cost of the environment. And finally, promoting global collaboration with scientists, government, and society to work together in this. So at this point, you might be wondering about this. So it is real science or it is close to science fiction? The answer is both. The technology is real and the progress is happening at this moment, but the full success of the extinction and its consequences are uncertain at the moment. This is why Violet Biotechnology is so important. It helps you to ask the right question before it's too late. So, to conclude, this extinction should use the incredible power of biotechnology. Humans now have the ability to reshape lives instead, but with great power comes great responsibility, as Uncle Ben say. We must carefully consider the ethical consequences, the environmental impact, or the long-term effects on society. So, Violet Biotechnology reminds us that science is not just about what we can do, it's about what we should do. So I think at the end the goal is clear to balance innovation with responsibility and protect our planet while advancing science. And I love this phrase from Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic World. This is how you play gods. So thank you for your attention, and here are my sources. And thank you.